This is the demo for our paper NAS-Navigator, a visual steering system for explainable one-shot deep neural network architecture synthesis. Our system has several benefits over the existing fully automated NAS techniques. NAS-Navigator supports fast and human-in-the-loop architecture search with added explainability. Let's start with a demo of a full network architecture search process with NAS-Navigator. The first step is to import a model into the interface, which we can do with this drop-down button. There are several preset models provided in NAS-Navigator, and the users can choose any of these models for the process. For this example, let's choose the VGG16 network. Importing the model populates different views inside NAS-Navigator. As we can see, this main view here shows the template network that we're experimenting with. The view at the bottom highlights different features of this template neural network. For example, the search space view shows the subgraphs of this template network, which are the candidates of our search space. Similarly, the candidate information view here highlights different paths in the template network which will be evaluated and scored during this whole process. Now, each of the components in this template network is customizable by the user. The main view of the navigator, also known as the Lego view, supports editing of the template network on the go. For example, we can add more components or delete some components from the already existing template network here. Let's perform the architecture search on this VGG16 template network for the ImageNet dataset. So for this, we can choose the optimizer, loss functions, and the dataset from the drop-down menus on the top for this given template model. Following up on this, the first step in one-shot architecture search is to train this template network. As soon as we start the training, the loss chart here shows real-time training progress and loss values of this template network on the dataset. Now, skipping a few iterations on this training process in the video, the loss chart shows at this point how much the network is trained and the final loss value obtained from the training process. The next step is to use this trained template network for the architecture search process. So now we have different candidates, which are the subgraphs of this template network, which will be evaluated using the weights of this template model. Let's start the search process by clicking on this button here. NAS-Navigator updates in real time showing the search process. Two main things change with every search iteration. One is the candidate search space. As more and more candidates are evaluated in every search iteration, their color changes based on their evaluation scores from the validation dataset. Using this technique, we can see after a few search iterations have passed, small clusters of evaluated networks start emerging. Now we can pause the search at any iteration and evaluate the current progress and the scores of these evaluated candidates. Also, in the block information view here, we can see the updated fitness scores for different paths in this template network. This is crucial information about which of the components in this network are useful and which are not. So high fitness scores and high frequency values for any path in the network shows that that path has many good candidate neural networks. The main advantage of using these features is that you can edit the template network mid-search, which greatly reduces the search space, and that's why NAS-Navigator helps in faster NAS search process. At this point, users can also opt to change different components in the network based on how the search is progressing using their domain knowledge. Continuing with this experiment, let's run the search for a few more iterations so we have better clusters of the whole search space. So we've stopped the search here to see how the clustering has been progressing. As you can see, there are clear clusters on this side of the search space, which looks like a good region. Also, on the other hand, let's search region which has many bad performing candidates, and we can zoom in and evaluate a few of these candidates. At this point, we can also use these cell operations to support such analysis. For example, we're looking at a bad region here, and the user wants to know which are the common bad performing components from the template network which occur in the region in all the candidates. So we can do an intersection operation to find all the candidates in this area, and this will highlight different paths in the network which were common to all these candidates. It's a good thing to do after many search iterations have passed, so we can get a clear cluster in the search space, and we can remove these common bad paths from the template network, which greatly reduces the search space for future iterations. Following this process, the user can choose to remove as many components as they like from the template network based on the size of the final neural network they're actually trying to optimize for. So this way, NAS-Navigator helps the user to visualize the candidate network search space. This whole process works in sync with our evolutionary search algorithm, which we designed to work with NAS-Navigator. We can also control the search region through dragging on this scatter plot, which forces the search algorithm to focus on these candidates for the next search iterations. Following this process, we can edit the final template network and choose the network size and final candidate, which works best for our use case. Following this process, this is an example of one of the final candidate neural networks generated by one of the users during the user study, which performs 2% better on the accuracy for ImageNet dataset compared to the existing NAS techniques discussed in the results section of this paper. Overall, NAS-Navigator improves the expandability of architecture search with human-in-the-loop interactions, and combined with our evolutionary search algorithm, NAS-Navigator results in faster search performance with high accuracy of the final candidate architectures.